Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It is great to be back with all of you, and first of all I do want to apologize for the bit of time it took to get this video released. I believe I'm going on 2 weeks now. Some things happened that pushed it back. I'm hoping to get back on track to trying to release once a week a video for all of you. So I appreciate your patience, and I want to welcome all who are new to the channel, and I want to thank all the people who subscribed and all the people who are currently subscribed. It means a lot to me, really does, and we are about 15 away last time I checked from hitting our goal of 150 subscribers. So let's keep up the momentum here, guys, and I want to invite all who are new to maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. It's free to do. There's no charge, and helps the channel grow. So yeah. Without further ado, we're going to jump right in because we got a bit of a lengthy topic to discuss today, and that is some of the dangers of keeping your money in the bank. And why you should consider maybe keeping some of your money in physical assets like gold and silver. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. So first off, let me look at my notes here. I did a lot of research, guys, so I do have some notes that I'm looking at here. So first of all, banks themselves, and I should preference before we jump right into this, in no way am I trying to scare you out of banks. I do not want to, in no way am I trying to have it where you guys will just run and withdraw all your money from the banks. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to make you aware of how the financial system sorta is, so that way you can make the best decisions for yourself. And so with that, I'm not a financial advisor. Do what's best for you, and consult one if you have any questions. So now that disclaimer's out of the way, back to the topic. So first of all, banks do not have enough money in reserve to cover all of their deposits. If you were to walk in right this moment and withdraw everything, and request to withdraw everything, unless you're like me that's super broke, where I don't have a whole ton of money in the bank at any one given time due to bills and other things, they will probably deny you from withdrawing your money, and will be like, we have to, request the funds to be sent to the branch, and then you can come and pick up your money. But if everyone did that, they wouldn't have enough money to cover all of their expenses, and that is due to fractional reserve banking. Some of you may know what that is, but for those who don't, fractional reserve banking is where the bank can take your dollar and divide it up multiple times. And I believe, from what I've heard, and I don't have a $1 bill, so this will have to suffice, but I believe from what I heard is that they can take your money, your fiat currency here, and they can split it 10 times. So for every dollar you deposit, they can take that dollar and lend it out 10 times. Now, right off the bat, that sounds crazy. Like, how can you take a dollar and divide the dollar up 10 times and still have each each tenth be worth $1. You see the problem there? No, they're creating money out of thin air. I mean, we all know this, but still, and that is why they don't carry the money. Every money they get, for the most part, they lend out. They put to work because they want to make money off the interest. But that makes it where when things start taking a turn in the economy, if people do start wanting to withdraw their money, it does make it a little difficult. Now, I want to say before the big thing that happened in 2020, we all know what it is. Most all banks were required to keep at least 10% of the total deposit on hand just in case. But now, because of some lovely legislation that was passed during, the big event back in 2020 that started, they can go, well, they don't have to have anything on hand. I believe they can go to zero. Oh. And, not get in trouble for it. Which is a lot scarier, because that means they don't have to have any reserve currency on hand. So, might want to reconsider again where you're keeping your money there. But to kind of give you some numbers, and I'm not gonna pointing fingers at these banks saying that they're gonna collapse tomorrow. Definitely do not want to say that. But just to run some numbers, these are just a couple big banks, popular banks out there. So it's kind of why I picked them. You have Bank of America. They had $1.3 trillion, trillion with a T, in cash deposits back in, I want to say this is for 2023. And they only held 2% of $1.3 trillion in reserve. That's not a whole lot, guys. Not a whole lot. Same with JP Morgan or Chase Bank. Chase Bank had $2.3 trillion in cash deposits, and they also only held 2% in reserve on 2.3 trillion. Again, not a whole lot of money, guys. If everyone came to get their money, obviously people would get turned away, and you know where that 2% is going to go. It's going to go to the big accounts, the wealthy that they have banking with them, not the little guy. And then there was Silicon Valley Bank, which went under last year in 2023. They had $175 billion in cash deposits, and they only held 5% in reserve on $175 billion. So I'm hoping this helps you kind of see the problem here. There we go. Let's get back into focus there, guys. I'm hoping that helps people see the issue that we're facing here with the banking. Once again, I really do love this coin. It's really one of my favorites. Why? Okay, maybe I won't move my stuff around all too much so it will stay in focus here. So, yeah. I mean, that right there is enough for me to be like, I need physical assets. Gold, silver, I mean, any other physical asset that will retain your wealth. Retain a portion, I should say a portion of your wealth, because again, I'm not one to say go all in and throw all your eggs in one basket, but definitely you know, that's enough for me to start being like, I need to turn some of this into this. All right, maybe I'll move my hands back, guys, because the camera keeps going out of focus, so I don't want to have to keep focusing it. So you'll just be hearing me talk from now. But yeah, and that's kind of what caused that Silicon Valley Bank to go under, is because they didn't have enough cash on hand, and then they had to sell their bonds. I believe it's bonds at a loss, and take a loss, and then boom, no more. And so yeah, typically 95 to 98% of our money is being lent out 10 times over, because fractional reserve banking. So they can, like I said before, make money off the interest. So that's why, personally, this is just me, not financial advice. If I was to keep my cash in a financial institution, I do typically prefer credit unions over banks. Now, not to say credit unions are not doing any of this, because they are, but in my opinion, again, just my personal opinion, I'd probably say credit unions are a better way to go. But you might also be saying here, and this is a common thing that a lot of people say with banks, stacking prepper. What about the FDIC insurance? Well, yes. There is FDIC insurance, and it is a promise to insure up to $250,000 per social on the account. So if you have 2 people on the account, they promise to insure, at least to my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but to my understanding, it's $250,000 per social on the account. So if you have 2 people on the account, that account is insured up to $500,000. But again, I could be wrong on that. So don't quote me on that. But at least they promise to insure up to $250,000 on each account, in the event that a bank fails and things like that. But the FDIC only has 0.6 to 1% of total U.S. bank deposits on hand. So only 0.6 to 1% of total U.S. bank deposits are covered by the FDIC. And if we have many, 1 or 2 more bank failures, that'll deplete that even more, possibly drain it, depending on how big the bank was. Now, I know, the FDIC isn't expecting, it's built around the expectation that, tons of banks won't fail at the same time. So they can, if they do ever have to pay that out, they could, have time to rebuild it. But with the way that the world is going, the way the economy is going, I'm having my doubts that, we're not going to have more banks failing this year. Excuse me, guys. So there's that to consider too. And even if you keep stuff in safety deposit boxes like hard assets, I know I watch some channels where they talk about how they keep their gold and silver in like a safety deposit box or something like that. And yes, the bank, only you have access to the safety deposit box, but if the bank shuts down, there's no guarantee you're going to be able to go in there and get it. and especially, right away. And if you go through the legal system to try to get it back, that's a slow process. And the insurances on the banks won't cover it because they don't know what you have in there. So, and yes, you can get your own insurance. I don't actually have a safety deposit box, so I'm not like super knowledgeable, but I do know that there's insurance out there for it, but that's still not a guarantee. Sorry guys, I'm filming this like really late, trying to get this in for all of you. So this, as the saying goes, especially like in the stacker community, it's a saying that I hear a lot. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. And I mean, as time's gone by and I've gotten more and more into the stacking world and started doing my research, I'm beginning to believe it more and more. If I don't hold it, it's not mine. If I can't hold it personally, it's not mine. I don't own it because someone else holds it, and it's just one tip of the scale, and boom, you no longer have access to any of your stuff. So there is wisdom in holding some physical assets. And you don't even have to invest a whole ton in it. I mean, look at me. I'm not investing a super amount in gold and silver at one time. Usually it's an ounce here, an ounce there, maybe a tenth of an ounce of gold every so often. Not as much as silver, but still. Even if you just have cash on hand. If you believe the dollar's going to be around for a while, even if you just have some cash on hand in your house, because we live in a digital world and all it takes is the power going out for a bit and no one having access to their money. So if you have some physical cash on hand, then you'll have something to go buy some stuff if needed. And I've recently added to my physical cash stack that I have on hand. Because it's just smart. It's just smart because especially in a catastrophe, people will still take dollars for a while, for a while. I don't have an exact amount of days that cash will still be accepted. But people will still accept cash before they go to barter. So it's just smart to have on hand. And then, if you're into it, I'm not super into this, and I've mentioned it before, but crypto, that kind of takes you outside the financial system. It's supposed to be deregulated, no one, it can be tracked, but most people don't track it right away. So, but again, I'm not super knowledgeable on crypto because again, it's one of those things where it's like I'm not actually holding it because it's a digital asset. So do I really own it, type of thing? And then obviously other physical assets like houses and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on everything about the dangers or risks of the financial institutions. What more can I say? It's all up to you, and everyone has different things that they think is going to happen and what they need to prepare for. And like I mentioned in my last video, it can't hurt to have at least some gold on hand because gold's outperformed very well in the market, even if you just look at it like an investment. holding some gold for long term. It's performed very well. So yeah, I'm not gonna take up any more of your guys' time. It's kind of dragged on, and I mean, again, super late. It's like almost 12:30 here, so my brain's starting to shut down. I feel like I'm starting to repeat myself, but if you've made it this far, guys, thank you so much. I know it's been a long one this time around, and I want to thank you so much for making it this far. And if you have, I'll let you know that next video I'll be showcasing a new ounce of silver that I got. It's on its way, should be here sometime early next week from the time that this video gets posted, which will probably be, well, today, sometime today. So yeah, once again, I want to invite you to hit that subscribe button if you made it this far. Obviously, you don't mind putting up with me, so might as well hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell notification. That way you'll get notified of when new videos drop. I don't know how the YouTube algorithm is pushing my videos so far. I had a couple really popular ones, and then, I have kind of back to my typical, traffic flow right now. So, yeah. And that's all I got for you. So, stay frosty, keep prepping, and keep stacking. Peace out.